The Kraft Foods Company presents The Great Gildersleeve.
Yeah.
It's The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Perry, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of Parquet Margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products. Now let's see what goes on in the home of the Great Gildersleeve. Leroy, it seems, is in the doghouse. He got himself suspended from school, and he's been sent to bed without any supper.
The big gyp. Oh, Lady McCann. I wish I'd told her what I really thought of her. All right, so I'm suspended for a week. What am I supposed to do? Bust out crying? The other kids are in school. They're slaving away, and I'm outside playing. Not bad. Yeah, I'm going to like this.
That's what he thinks the next morning at breakfast.
Leroy?
Yes, Unc?
Out in the garage, Leroy, you will find a mess. I want it cleaned up.
I didn't do it, Unc. Honest, all I
Nevertheless, you will clean it up.
Yes, sir.
I want every tool in its proper place. I want those broken flower pots removed, and I want it swept out. I want it spotless. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Somebody spilled some paint in there, too. I almost stepped in it.
Not me.
You'll clean it up. Understand?
Yes, sir. Fine sister.
Having done that, my boy, you will repair to the cellar. There you will take all the kindling and stack it neatly in the corner near the coal bin. When you finish stacking the kindling, you will proceed to remove all that junk you've scattered around down there. All of it. Understand?
Yes, sir.
What about the back porch?
Why don't you drop dead?
Yes, I meant to speak about that. All those crates that you and Piggy piled up there, I want them put away.
That's our machine gun nest.
I don't care what it is. Get rid of it. And following that...
Say, that's a swell necktie you're wearing, Unc. That's new, isn't it? Where'd you get it?
Don't try to change the subject, Leroy.
Huh?
After you have cleaned up the back porch, I want you to go up to your room and study your lessons.
Oh, gosh, just cleaning out the garage will take me all morning. When do I get to play?
You don't get to play, Leroy. This is not a vacation. It's a punishment. You hear that, Bertie? I want you to keep an eye on him and see that he sticks to business.
Yes, sir.
You'd better expect me home for lunch, too. I intend to check up on him myself. Don't hear me.
I'm not.
And don't sit there feeling sorry for yourself.
I'm not sitting here.
Out to the garage, Leroy. Out to the garage. I'm not going to have any boys getting suspended around here.
Bertie, how soon is lunch?
Leroy, I declare you've been asking me that every 15 minutes since breakfast.
Oh, gosh, that's hard work I'm doing out there. Takes energy.
I know.
I feel kind of faint.
All right, Leroy, you can start in if you want to. Your lunch is on the dining room table.
Thanks, Bertie.
Ain't nothing but sandwiches. Your uncle said I wasn't to give you nothing but a regular school lunch.
That's okay. Boy, this looks super.
Your uncle ought to be along any minute if you want to wait.
No, I'd better start in.
There's a little piece of that lemon meringue pie left over from last night. If you don't tell your uncle I gave it to you.
Bertie, I'm glad I got one friend left.
Leroy, you shouldn't talk like that. The best friend you got is your uncle.
Are you kidding? He doesn't even like me.
Of course he likes you. He thinks the world of you, Leroy.
No, nobody likes me. Except Miss Wynne.
That's a lot of nonsense. Who's Miss Wynne?
She's my new teacher. That is, she was till old Lady McCann came back and got her fired.
How do you know she got her fired?
Because she's always doing things like that. Well, do you know, Bertie, she's got a piece of rubber hose in her closet, and she beats you with it when you're bad.
Is that a fact?
You can ask any kid in the school.
Did she beat you?
Well, no, but I was lucky. I just got suspended. I'll tell you how the whole thing happened, Bertie. I was sitting
here comes your uncle now.
Oop, I better get back to work. I'll take the sandwich with me.
But, Leroy.
You can slip me the pie later, Bertie, after he goes.
I don't know. Mr. Gildersleeve?
Yes, me, Bertie. Lunch about ready? I'm short for time. Got to get out to the reservoir and see about things there.
All ready for you, Mr. Gildersleeve. It's on the table.
Fine.
I thought some sandwiches would be nice.
Sandwiches?
That's what Leroy had.
Oh, where is Leroy?
Oh, he's out in the garage working.
He is, eh? Has he really stuck at it, Bertie?
Mr. Gildersleeve, I never saw a little boy work so hard in my life.
Guess I threw a scare into him, all right.
It's a fact. Why, I could hardly get him to come and eat his lunch, hardly. One bite and he's right out there again working.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. Let's see. What are these? Oh, cucumber sandwiches. Well, they won't put on any weight.
Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yes, Bertie?
Don't you think maybe it's going a little far, making the little boy work all day long like that with no time to play?
The boy was guilty of impertinence, Bertie. He was rude to his teacher. He must be taught a lesson. Hand me the salt, please.
Yes, sir.
Say, Bertie, that lemon meringue pie we had last night, you haven't got a little piece of that left, have you?
No, sir, I'm sorry, I ain't.
Oh, well.
Yes, sir, that Leroy sure worked hard out there this morning, lifting all them heavy things and sweeping out. He sure worked hard.
Well, I don't want to be too hard on the boy. After all, I wasn't perfect myself. As a child, I mean. I had my little run-ins with the authorities. You can tell Leroy, Bertie, that he only has to work during school hours. After 3 o'clock, he can play.
Gee, thanks, Unc. Thanks a lot.
Oh, I thought you were out in the garage, Leroy, working.
I was just going. I'm just on the way out. Have a nice lunch, Unc. Sorry I can't join you, but you know how it is. I want to finish the garage so I can get at the cellar before it's time to play.
That boy.
Yeah, I'm only surprised he didn't get the teacher suspended. Quiet around here. Anybody home, for goodness sake?
Oh, good evening, Unky. Home so early?
Is there anything particularly unusual in my being home at 6 o'clock?
Uncle Mort Marshall's here.
Well, do we have to whisper? I don't see him. Where is he?
Uncle Mort, please. He's in the study.
In the study? What's he doing in there?
He's going away to school. He came over to say goodbye.
That why you had the door closed?
We closed it to keep Leroy out. Now, come in and say hello.
As soon as I hang up my hat.
And please be nice to him. Come along. Uncle Mort, you remember Marshall Bullard?
Well, I certainly should.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, good evening. I understand, Marshall, that you're going away to school. That's fine.
Uncle Mort, really?
Eh? Oh, I mean, it's fine you're going to school. Too bad you're going away.
Just came over to say goodbye to Marjorie.
Oh, leaving tonight? Well.
Oh, no, sir. I'm not going till the end of the week, sir.
Oh, taking no chances, eh? Well, good luck when you do go.
Thank you, sir. I'll probably be over to say goodbye again before that.
Oh, I dare say. What the devil was that?
It's probably Leroy. He's down in the cellar.
I better see what's going on down there.
Yes, you'd better do that, Unky.
If you'll excuse me, Marshall.
Oh, go right ahead, sir. Yes, sir.
I never trust a boy who calls me sir. Do they have to close the door? By George, if they're smooshing in there. After all, I'm her uncle. I got a right to know what goes on.
Uncle Mort!
I think I'll just leave this door open, my dear, if you don't mind. It gets a little close in there. Leroy! What's going on down there? Bertie!
Yes, sir?
What's all that racket?
That's Leroy cleaning up the cellar, I guess.
Well, I told him he could quit at 3 o'clock. I told him he could go out and play.
Yes, sir, he went out for a while, and then he came back in again.
But this isn't like Leroy.
No, sir. I think he feels bad about something. I think he's got something on his mind.
Why?
Well, the way he acts. I asked him about it, and he just gave me a look and ran on down the cellar quick and then slammed the door.
We'll have to see about this. Leroy? Guess he didn't hear me. Well, I'll go down.
I don't care. I don't care about Donald Kelsey or Robert Rosenblatt or Peter Fisher or any of them. But Peggy, I thought he was my friend.
Leroy! Leroy! What's the matter, my boy?
Nobody likes me.
That's not true. I like you.
No, you don't.
Marjorie likes you.
She does not.
And Bertie likes you.
Well, that's all. I don't know what's the use of hanging around here. Everybody just... all they do is hate.
Now. Put on that hammer and come here. Here, my boy, blow your nose. Now, tell your old uncle what's the matter. What are you doing down here? Why don't you go out and play?
I did. Nobody would play with me.
Why not?
Their mothers wouldn't let them.
Why not?
Because they heard I got suspended.
That's perfectly ridiculous.
I don't care. I don't care. The darn old kids play with me.
Now, Leroy. You shouldn't cry, a boy your age.
I'm not crying. I just get so darn mad.
Yeah, I know how it is. I get that way sometimes myself. I'll tell you what, my boy. You just come upstairs with me. I'll play with you.
But I want to play with kids.
Well, we'll see what we can do about it. Come along.
Leroy, you down there?
Hey, we're just coming up, Bertie.
There's somebody at the door for Leroy, that little bullet boy.
There. What did I tell you, my boy? There's somebody who wants to play with you.
Oh, for corn's sake, Craig Bullard.
Well, he's a little young, perhaps.
You want me to send him away? Dinner's just about ready.
No, let me talk to him, Bertie.
Yeah, I guess he's better than nobody.
Did I hear that kid brother of mine?
Yeah, he's at the front door, Marshal.
Hiya, Craigie, old boy. Hi, Leroy. Glad to see you. Come on in.
I can't. I just come over to tell you my father won't let me play with you.
Huh?
Hey, Craigie, Nick.
Just a minute. Say that again, Sonny.
Yeah, let's have that again.
My father says I can't play with you. He says you're a bad influence.
Craig!
He says you're just like your uncle.
Oh!
What's happening?
Young man, you run along home just as fast as your little legs will carry you. And you tell your father for me. You tell your father for me. For me.
Mr. Gildersleeve, you'll have to forgive Craig.
You, too. If my nephew isn't good enough to play with Craig, you're not good enough to hang around my niece.
Uncle Mort, you can't talk to Marshall like that.
Oh, can't I? Get off the property. And stay off.
He doesn't mean it, Marshall. Don't pay any attention to him.
Go on, get off the property.
Marshall!
Evidently, I'm not welcome here. Good night.
Now look what you've done.
Ah, it serves you right.
Really, Uncle Mort, sometimes I think you're the stupidest man a girl ever had for an uncle.
Marjorie, I'm inclined to think you're right. And the stupidest thing I ever did was to become an uncle. Who got me into this?
The great Gildersleeve will be back again in a moment. Just now, we'd like to enact a little breakfast scene. The soon-to-be-contented man is played by yours truly, John Lang.
There you are, John, dear. Nice golden brown toast. Just the way you like it.
Hey, you're handing it to me dry. What goes with it? Where's my favorite spread?
Oh, I didn't know you had a favorite.
Wait a minute, my favorite wife. Don't you listen when I talk about the wonderful flavor of parquet margarine? Why, the many times you've heard me say how good parquet margarine tastes. The many times.
I was only teasing, dear. Of course we've got parquet margarine. Here you are.
That's more like it. This toast is delicious. Parquet margarine's delicious. You're delicious.
What a character. There's a man who really knows what's delicious.
Okay, Leroy, and I'll just step out of character a moment to remind our friends that parquet margarine is not only wonderfully good to eat, but is high in food energy value and fortified with important vitamin A. It's mighty economical, too, only about half the price of costly spreads. So be sure to buy delicious, economical parquet, Parkay, parquet margarine, made by Kraft. Now let's get back to the great Gildersleeve. 24 hours have passed, and his nephew Leroy is still suspended from school. He is also still being shunned by his friends. Gildersleeve is beginning to feel sorry for the boy, as we can see if we drop in at Mr. Peavy's drugstore. Mr. Peavy is out and back making up a prescription, but Leroy is consuming a chocolate soda while his uncle watches.
Oh, boy.
Aren't you going to finish it, Leroy?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. How about another one?
Oh, gosh, thanks, Unc. 3 is plenty.
You may be right. Well, I got to get back to my office. You think you can amuse yourself for the rest of the afternoon?
I suppose so.
What do you think you'll do?
Oh, bum around, I guess.
There must be something more wholesome than that.
I'll be okay.
I don't like to think of you just wandering around by yourself. Now, if there was some movie that you were crazy to see...
There is, Unc, at the Majestic. Gosh, if I could go to the Majestic.
Well, here's a quarter. You go on to the Majestic. But don't tell anybody I sent you.
Unc, thanks. The Majestic has a triple horror. That'll carry me right up to supper time.
Huh? Sure it won't spoil your appetite?
Are you kidding? Those horror pictures make you hungry. Gee, thanks, Unc. I'll just be able to make it in time. So long.
Yeah, so long, my boy. Poor kid.
Mr. Gildersleeve, was that somebody going out or somebody coming in?
No, Peavy, just Leroy leaving. What do I owe you?
Yeah, just figured that out. 3 chocolate sodas, is that right?
That's right.
Doesn't seem possible. Well, that's 45 cents and 1 cent tax.
Here.
Thank you. 46, 50, 75, $1. Isn't this a little unusual, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Unusual?
Buying Leroy's sodas in the middle of the afternoon. Birthday, maybe.
No, it's not his birthday. He's been suspended from school.
You don't say. Well, it seems a funny reason to buy him a chocolate soda.
That's not why I'm buying him a chocolate soda.
But you said he
Let me finish, please, Peavy, just once.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gildersleeve, but I thought you said that
Allow me, Peavy. Permit me. Now, Leroy was suspended from school. I suppose you want to know why.
I didn't say anything.
I know you, Peavy. The boy was suspended because he was rude to his teacher. Suspended for a week.
A week?
Yes, pretty severe punishment, but I don't say it isn't fair. What I object to is that none of Leroy's friends will play with him. Their parents seem to think he's some kind of an outcast.
Well, that's the way of the world, Mr. Gildersleeve. Would you want Leroy playing with some young criminal?
Leroy is not a criminal. I think he's being persecuted unjustly. I'm just trying to make it up to him, that's all.
Well, if I was suspended from school and got free chocolate sodas, I might be tempted to make a habit of it.
That's ridiculous.
And if I like chocolate sodas.
Yes. Peavy, it's easy to see you never were in a jam when you were young.
No, I wouldn't say that. I tried to sneak onto a streetcar once without paying the 5 cents.
My, quite a crime. Were you arrested?
No, but the conductor made me give him a nickel. A very humiliating experience.
You haven't lived, Peavy. Naturally, you can't imagine what Leroy's going through. Why, if you...
Good afternoon, Mr. Peavy. Have you got my prescription ready?
Indeed, I have, Mrs. Townsend, right here.
How do you do, Mrs. Townsend? How's little Arthur?
Will you charge it, please, Mr. Peavy?
Yes, ma'am, $1.12.
Thank you. Good day, Mr. Peavy.
Why didn't that woman speak to me? I've known her for years.
Is Arthur Townsend in Leroy's class?
Well, yes, I believe he is, but...
That's the way of the world, Mr. Gildersleeve. I'm afraid you're tarred with Leroy's brush.
But Leroy is just a kid. He's a nice little boy.
They all are at the beginning. I guess Dillinger was a nice boy once.
Dillinger?
If you'll excuse me, Mr. Gildersleeve, I have some work to do out and back.
Are you trying to get rid of me, Peavy?
Oh, no.
Yes, you are, Peavy. You're afraid I'll contaminate your other customers. You're afraid you'll lose some trade.
Why, Mr. Gildersleeve...
All right, you money grubber, you'll be sorry. See who that is, will you, Bertie?
I'm on my way. Oh, good evening, Judge.
Evening, Bertie.
Mr. Gildersleeve's right in the parlor, Judge. He's just starting in on the evening paper.
And I'd a lot rather read it than talk to Hooker. Oh, hello, Horace.
Hello, Gildy.
Yeah, sit down. Make yourself at home.
No, I can't stay, thank you. I was passing by, and I just thought I'd drop in and ask you about that financial report.
Financial report?
Yeah, you were supposed to give the financial report at the school board meeting tomorrow night, remember?
Oh, that. Sure, I remember. I've got the report already. That is, I will have.
It's fine. It's fine.
Well, Is that all you wanted to know?
Not exactly.
Well, speak up. What is it?
Well, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, Gildy, but it occurred to me you might like me to present your report to the school board.
Why should you? I'm chairman of the finance committee. Why shouldn't I give the report?
Well, a man in your position, that is to say, if I were in your position...
What position? What the devil are you talking about? Stop beating around the bush.
I'm afraid I'll have to. You're so thick.
Who's thick?
You are in more ways than one. Hasn't Leroy been suspended from the Summerfield Grammar School?
Yes, he has, and what of it?
Well, doesn't that place you in a slightly embarrassing position as a member of the school board?
How?
Well, how would you feel standing up there with the school board when you can't even keep your own nephew in school?
Now, see here, Judge. I had nothing to do with Leroy's difficulty. When the suspension period is over, he'll go back. Wonder if there's any way he could get back sooner.
Have you tried to arrange it?
No. I wonder if his teacher knows I'm on the school board.
I think it would be most inadvisable for you to start throwing your weight around.
I wasn't thinking of throwing my weight around. Just thinking of dropping a hint.
I've seen you drop a hint with an awful thud, Gildy.
Are you trying to suggest I'm undiplomatic, you old goat? I'll show you. I'll find a way out of this thing without any help from you either.
Well, what about tomorrow night?
I'll be there, don't you worry, and with a report. And I'll be able to look every member of that school board right in the eye. Is that you, Leroy?
Yeah, it's me. Supper ready?
In a minute. How was the picture?
Oh, it was okay. It isn't much fun going to the movies all by yourself.
Yeah, I know. Sit down, my boy. There. Now, I think you've been punished enough for your rudeness to Miss McCann.
Yeah? Gee, that's what I think.
Well, perhaps we can find a way to get you back in school tomorrow morning. How would you like that?
Can you really, Unc?
We'll see. You're sorry for your behavior, aren't you?
Sure. Gosh, never thought I'd be suspended.
Well, aside from the punishment, you realize you said a very bad thing to Miss McCann, that you hurt her feelings, that no boy in school should ever speak rudely to a teacher. You realize all that, don't you?
Sure. What are you getting at?
That's not the attitude.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the boy. Now, if you'll just say that to Miss McCann.
You mean I got to apologize?
Certainly. That's the manly thing to do, my boy.
I can't, Unc.
Let's not be silly about this, Leroy. There's nothing easier than to apologize, and there's nothing that gives you a better feeling afterwards.
I can't apologize to her.
Nonsense. What makes you think you can?
In front of all the other kids?
Certainly. You insulted her in front of the other kids, didn't you?
I didn't insult her. Okay, I insulted her.
Look, Leroy, there's nothing to this thing. You walk into the schoolroom tomorrow morning, you walk straight up to Miss McCann, and you say, Miss McCann, I owe you an apology for my thoughtless behavior. I want you to know that I'm very sorry. What do you think she'll do, bite you?
She'll hit me with a rubber hose.
Leroy, you're acting like a baby. But if you want to get back in school tomorrow, this is the only way to do it.
Apologize?
Apologize.
The only way?
The only way.
Well, I guess I'll just have to wait till the week is up.
But Leroy, you haven't got anybody to play with. You're not having any fun. You're miserable, aren't you?
Sure I am.
Then why not apologize?
I hate to apologize.
It just happens, young man, that there are other people concerned in this affair. It just happens that I personally find this whole thing very embarrassing.
Oh, so that's it.
No, that's not it. I'm thinking principally of your welfare. The fact that I'm a member of the school board is entirely secondary.
What do I care about the school board?
Leroy, people are refusing to speak to me in the streets on account of you. I'm becoming an outcast.
So am I. But I'd rather be an outcast than apologize to old Lady McCann.
You listen here. You'll apologize tomorrow whether you like it or not. Come along.
She'll hit me with a rubber hose.
Leroy, there's nothing to be afraid of. I'm with you. I'll walk right up to the door of your room. I'll listen while you make your apology. If that woman lays a finger on you, I'll be there with you in a jiffy.
Okay.
Where is your room, Leroy?
At the end of the hall.
Long hall, isn't it? All right, my boy, now be brave. Just say what I told you to say. Just walk straight up to her and say, Miss McCann.
Oh, shut up.
Why, Leroy.
Good morning, Miss McCann.
Good morning, Leroy.
I'm sorry
That's all right. Just take your seat. Perhaps you'd like to lead the opening song, Leroy.
Okay. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, dear teacher. Good morning to you.
Well, I'll be darned. Maybe I ought to go in and say a few words to her myself, though, just to make it sure. Miss McCann?
Yes?
I wonder if I could just have a word with you.
Certainly. Excuse me a moment, class. Yes?
I'm Mr. Gildersleeve, Leroy's uncle.
Oh.
I just thought I'd mention that it was my idea for Leroy to apologize. And he was supposed to say a good deal more. That is, he was supposed to make a more elaborate apology. Yes, but the little devil...
Mr. Gildersleeve, if you don't realize it's the spirit of an apology that counts and not the words, you aren't fit to bring up children.
Miss McCann.
I suspected Leroy's difficulty must be with his home training, and now I'm sure of it.
But I only...
In fact, you're the one that should be suspended.
Look out, she's going for the rubber hose.
We'll hear from the great Gildersleeve again in just a moment. Round about mid-afternoon, boys and girls are apt to get mighty hungry at school. And when they get home and make a beeline to the pantry, here's something that's sure to satisfy hungry young appetites. It's crisp crackers and slices of tender, fresh bread spread with delicious Parquet margarine. Children really go for Parquet's fresh, delicate flavor because it tastes so good. And there's another important reason why so many mothers serve after-school snacks of crackers and bread spread with delicious Parquet. It's that wonderful energy Parquet margarine helps provide, and the important vitamin A that's added to every single pound of Parquet. Of course, Parquet is mighty economical, too, only about half the price of costly spreads. So mothers, tomorrow be sure to buy delicious, economical Parquet. Parkay. Parquet margarine, made by Kraft.
Uncle Mort, here's a special delivery letter that came for you this afternoon.
Oh?
It's postmarked Savannah.
Savannah, Georgia? Well, it must be from Leila Ransom. I'll just see what it says here. Imagine that. Yeah. Oop. Why, the little minx. Huh? Oh.
What does she say, Uncle Mort?
She says she's had a very good time and she'll be back Friday. Well, that's what she said. Now, you go to bed. Good night, folks.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Perry. It is written by John Whedon and Sam Moore. The music is by Jack Meakin. This is John Lang speaking for the Kraft Foods Company and inviting you to listen in again next week for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Do the children in your family like cheese? Then you can just bet they like Pabst-ett. It's so rich in mellow cheddar cheese flavor, so easy to digest. Pabst-ett is a cheese food that contains the nourishing food values of milk. And it's simply delicious, spread on bread or on crackers, or melted into a luscious cheese sauce for macaroni. And now that ration points are no longer required, you'll want to buy both delicious varieties, Golden Pabst-ett and Pimento Pabst-ett. Ask for Pabst-ett, the delicious cheddar cheese food, when you shop tomorrow.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
The
The Kraft Foods Company presents The Great Gildersleeve.
Yeah.
It's The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Perry, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of Parquet Margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products. Now let's join the Great Gildersleeve, who is up early this morning. There's a nip of autumn in the air, but Gildersleeve is taking his morning bath just the same. And we can hear him.
I love life and I want to live. I love darn soap. Oh well. I love life and I
want. Boy, these hotcakes are really super. Shoot the syrup, will you, Marge?
Here. Leroy, you don't have to drown them.
Oh, what's it to you?
You waste so much syrup.
I won't waste any. I'll use it up with some more cakes.
Your table manners are disgusting. You'll be sorry if you're ever invited out anywhere.
I got swell manners when I go out. Gosh, did you hear Unc singing up there? He feels swell today.
I know. I know why, too.
Yeah, why?
Mrs. Ransom is coming home today.
Gosh, is that any reason for him to go crazy?
Singing isn't crazy.
No, but he shaved twice. And he gave me 75 cents to go to the football game next Saturday. Didn't even argue.
You'll understand someday, little boy.
Ah, you think everything is love, romance.
I love life.
Here comes the great lover now. Hey, Bertie, Unc's coming down. Hi.
Well, good morning, Marjorie.
Good morning, Unky.
I told Bertie you were here, Unc.
I heard you, my boy.
Is that a new shirt, Unky? It's lovely.
PK. I bought it yesterday.
It looks so rich.
Post-war shirt. Haven't been able to buy this kind of stuff. Good morning, Bertie, thou priceless jewel.
Good morning, Mr. Gildersleeve. You want eggs or hotcakes this morning?
Take the hotcakes, Unc. They're super.
You've tested them thoroughly, have you, Leroy?
Yeah, I'll say.
He's been eating like a pig.
Well, there's a certain amount of pig in every boy, my dear. I'll try the cakes, Bertie.
Yes, sir. I got some bad news for you, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, bad news, eh? What is it?
The refrigerator's on the blink. The milkman says we'll have to have a new motor.
Oh, well, had to expect it someday. I'll attend to it this morning.
Positively?
Positively. Bring on the hot cakes.
Yes, sir. If the stove is still working.
Well, glorious morning, isn't it, children?
Yeah, it's a pip.
Say, Unky.
Yes, my dear?
Oh, never mind.
What is it, Marjorie?
Nothing. I was going to ask you for something, but I won't. It'd be taking advantage of you.
What do you mean?
Well, you're happy this morning, and I know why.
Yeah. Oh, dear, my smart little niece. Well, if you're too nice to ask for anything, I'll have to be nice, too. You can go down to Hogan Brothers and get anything you want up to $5.
Oh, Unky. Oh, Unky, you're a darling.
You think so?
Uh-huh.
That reminds me. I've got to make an important phone call. Will you excuse me, children?
Surely, Uncle Mort.
How do you like that? $5. All I got was a lousy football ticket. Behind the goalposts.
I didn't ask for anything.
Oh, no.
Hello, Summerfield Grill. This is Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve. This is Water Commissioner Gildersleeve. Yes. I'd like to reserve a table for 2 at luncheon today, please. About 1 o'clock. Gus, I wonder if you could give me that little booth in the corner. That's right. Yeah, thank you very much.
For corn's sake, I could have had a seat on the 50-yard line.
Hi, Commissioner.
Hello, Floyd. Can you take care of me pretty soon?
Why, sure. Come on in. Take off your coat. I got a friend of yours under the towel here, but he'll be through in a minute.
A friend, eh? Well, let's see. Who do I know with big, flat feet? And a little round potbelly.
Why, you?
Yeah, and the voice sounds familiar. Is that his nose sticking up there like Fujiyama?
Now, you see here, Gildersleeve.
Well, Judge Hooker, I never thought it was you.
Oh, you're not fooling me for a minute. But if I were as fat as you, I'd go slow making fun of other people.
I'll have you know, Horace, that I've taken 3 inches off my stomach this summer.
You have? Looks like you just moved it around the rear.
All right, Judge. What's the matter, Commissioner? Can't you enjoy a joke?
Yeah, where's your sense of humor, Gildy?
I'd like a mustache trim, Floyd, if you're through with this comedian.
Fire right up there, Commissioner. I'll make you look like Ronald Coleman.
Don't strain yourself, Floyd. Getting prettied up for a certain party, Gildy?
Maybe I am, maybe I'm not.
Well, I don't know who you're trying to fool, Throckmorton. It was in the paper she's coming home today.
Oh, that widow, Mrs. Ransom. Yeah, I saw that in the paper.
Well, who the devil put it in the paper?
Leila probably wrote the society editor. She always calls up when she's giving a party.
Publicity. Why do people want it?
Women, they're the ones that like it. Every time my mother-in-law comes over from Sauk City, my wife calls up the paper. Mr. and Mrs. Floyd Munson are entertaining Mrs. Munson's mother for a brief visit. When she finally goes home, they print that, too.
The mustache, Floyd. I can't spend the day here.
Okay, Commissioner. The old lady keeps a scrapbook. She's got that item pasted in there 20 times. I'll bet.
Floyd.
Okay.
Going to meet Leila, Gildy?
I'd thought of it.
How'd it be if I'd go along? Give her a little surprise.
Hey, I got a better idea. Why don't we all go down and meet her? The Jolly Boys are getting together tonight anyway.
Mrs. Ransom is coming in early this afternoon.
Oh, that's too bad. We could have a lot of laughs. Why don't I try to round the boys up right now? She'd probably get a big kick out of it.
I don't think so, Floyd. It wouldn't be very dignified.
Dignified? The girl likes a little fun, don't she? I always thought she did.
I don't care to hear your thoughts regarding Mrs. Ransom, Floyd. And I'm opposed to the whole idea of the Jolly Boys meeting her.
Mr. Gildersleeve is right, Floyd.
Thank you, Horace.
I think the nicest thing would be if just you and I went down to meet her, Gildy.
Oh, why, you nosy old goat.
Gildy, we'll give Leila a nice surprise together. I gotta go to my office for a few minutes, but I can meet you at the station. What train's she coming in on?
What train?
Yeah.
The 12:15 train, Judge.
All right, I'll be there. Here, Floyd.
Thanks, Judge.
See you at the station, Gildy.
Well, he kind of put one over on you there, didn't he, Commissioner?
You think so, Floyd?
Uh-huh.
Finish me up. I gotta get out to the airport.
Flight number 6 from Savannah, Chattanooga, and Washington, coming in on runway 2. Passengers will unload at gate 1.
Trying to make this one-horse airport sound like LaGuardia Field. Well, only one gate must be gate 1.
Oh, just wait here, please, sir. Only passengers and employees come through.
Oh. Say, aren't you the fellow that was talking through the loudspeaker?
Yes, that was me.
Huh. Why don't they let the people off?
They're coming now, sir.
Oh, yes. Oh, there she is. Leila! Leila! She's waving. I guess she sees me.
Yes, I guess so.
I wasn't talking to you.
Throckmorton, wasn't it darling of you to come and meet me?
Leila. Am I glad to see you?
Oh, Throckmorton, what will people think?
Anybody can kiss anybody in railroad station.
But this is an airport.
Well, if the airlines outlaw kissing, they'll lose a lot of customers, I can tell you that. Where's your baggage, Leila?
Oh, well, this is all I have, this little bit of handbag. I got so many new clothes down home I had to buy a trunk, and they won't let you take a trunk on a flying machine.
Oh, let me carry your handbag.
Oh, thank you, Throckmorton.
Come on, Leila, let's get in the car.
All right. Oh, I wonder if I could make a phone call first. There must be a booth here.
Well, sure, only what's your hurry?
Well, it won't take but a second, Throckmorton.
Well, the booth's right over there. I'll wait here at the newsstand.
Oh, you're a darling. I won't be a minute now.
What a girl. George, it must be great down south. Imagine a whole town full of Leilas.
Did you want a magazine, sir?
Are you running the newsstand, too?
Yes, but I'm closing it up now. I've got to go over and open up the ticket office.
Well, first.
What did I tell you, Throckmorton? Wasn't I quick?
Oh, you certainly were, Leila. Come on now. We'll drive into town. I'm taking you to lunch at the Summerfield Grill. And I hope that guy isn't the waiter. I've reserved a booth, Leila.
Oh, Throckmorton, if I'd only known.
Well, what's the difference? Surprise.
Well, it's simply sweet of you to have thought of it, and I'm heartbroken I can't go.
Can't go? Well, I'd counted on it, Leila. A nice lunch and then maybe a nice drive out by the reservoir.
Oh, it sounds heavenly.
Well, come on.
Well, I can't, Throckmorton. I just called my hairdresser, and if I get there in 15 minutes, she can take me.
Hairdresser? Leila, are you standing me up for that?
Oh, now, darling, I was hoping I might see you tonight after supper.
I was hoping to see you this afternoon.
I'll be lots prettier this evening, and I've got a new dress I think you like. At least I hope so.
New dress?
Mm-hmm.
Leila, you haven't got the dress in this little bitty handbag.
Mm-hmm.
I'll drop around right after supper. God.
We'll be back with the great Gildersleeve in just a moment.
Mr. Lang, didn't you make a slight error at the start of this program?
Why, no, not that I know of.
Well, I thought I heard you say the Kraft Foods Company presents the Great Gildersleeve.
That's just what I said, the Kraft Foods Company.
But isn't the name Kraft Cheese Company?
Not anymore. From now on, it's the Kraft Foods Company. Because, you see, the Kraft Company not only makes a wide variety of fine cheese and cheese foods, but also is known for many other top-quality food products. For example, Parquet margarine.
Parquet is one of my favorites. Such a delicious spread for bread, hot toast, and rolls.
It's a favorite of millions, because Parquet margarine has a fresh, delicate flavor that is still unmatched by any other brand.
I found it's economical, too. Only about half the price of costly spreads.
And don't forget, the maker of this delicious, economical spread is the Kraft Foods Company.
I stand corrected, Mr. Lang. I'll remember. Kraft Foods Company.
That's right. P-A-R-K-A-Y. Parquet margarine. Made by the Kraft Foods Company. Try it soon. You'll be glad you did. Well, now let's see what's in store for Gildersleeve. That's what the great man himself is wondering as he sits twiddling his thumbs at his desk in the water department. But perhaps we'd get a better idea if we looked in on Peavy's drugstore, where the proprietor is welcoming back an old customer.
Sure, it's nice to see you back, Mrs. Ransom.
It's nice to be back. What kind of a summer did you have, Mr. Peavy?
Hey, quiet.
Mm-hmm. And Mrs. Peavy, how's she?
No, she can't complain. Or perhaps I shouldn't say that. On the whole, she's been pretty well.
Oh, that's good. Tell me, Mr. Peavy, how is Mr. Gildersleeve these days?
Mr. Gildersleeve? Well, he was in here the other day for a bottle of rhubarb and soda, but I don't believe it was anything serious, just a temporary upset.
Well, I mean, what's he been up to this summer?
Well, I really couldn't say.
Nothing new, then.
Well, you know Mr. Gildersleeve. He's hard to keep track of. One day it's one thing, the next day it's something else.
Aren't you right?
Was there something, Mrs. Ransom?
Oh, yes. I want to get a lipstick. I'm afraid I lost mine on the plane.
Lipstick, yes, indeed. I seem to have quite a selection here. Now, here's one that's put out by Houbigan's reliable firm. Has good wearing qualities, so they tell me.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's one that goes by the name of First Blush. That's the name of the color.
Oh, I'm afraid that would be a little light.
I've got another one here that's called Shame. I take it that's a little redder.
Well, what's this one?
Just let me see that. Oh, yes. This one is called Savage Dawn. That more the kind of thing you had in mind?
Well, that's very nice, too. Now, if you were a man, Mr. Peavy, which of these colors would you prefer?
Well, I'd say that either of them ought to do the same.
But, which do you react to yourself, personally?
Well, I don't know anything about these things, Mrs. Ransom. I just sell them. Ladies come in here asking for them, so I have to stock them. But I guess they're both good, serviceable lipstick.
Oh, you're so old-fashioned, Mr. Peavy. You probably think any woman is a hussy if she even uses lipstick.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, I guess I'll just have to decide for myself, then. You know, I think I prefer Savage Dawn. Is that wicked of me?
Mrs. Ransom, the way things are going these days, I don't know how anybody's going to tell what's good and what's bad. I just try to break even myself. That'll be $1.
Oh, there you are.
And 2 cents for the governor.
Oh, yes, I keep forgetting.
Grab it up for you?
Oh, don't bother. I'll just put it in my handbag. Well, goodbye, Mr. Peavy.
Goodbye, Mrs. Ransom, and good luck with your lipstick. Lipstick. Booby traps. Wonder who she's after this time.
Good old Throckmorton, always early. Oh, thank goodness I'm dressed. Throckmorton, is that you down there?
Who are you expecting?
Silly, the door's open. Go in the parlor and make yourself comfortable. You hear? I'll be right down. Now, do I look all right? Is anything showing? How's my hair? Well, it'll have to do. My lipstick. My new lipstick. Where is it? I had it in my handbag. No, I took it out. Now, where did... Leila, darling, what are you hurrying for? Don't you remember what Mama said? Always keep them waiting.
Where is she? Where is she? In the name of heaven, what's she doing up there? 45 minutes by the clock. Ye gods. I could be doing things. I could be at the Jolly Boys right now. I could be home paying bills. I could be reading a book even, but no. 8 o'clock, she said. Just wait till she comes down here. I'll give her a piece of my mind. Yes, by George. Hello, Leila.
Kept you waiting terribly long.
Not at all. I just arrived, practically.
Oh, I'm so glad. I was afraid I might have kept you waiting. Do sit down.
Thanks.
Well, aren't you glad to see me? Aren't you glad I'm back?
Oh, of course I am. Gosh.
Then what are you sitting way over there for?
Yeah.
Oh, that's better. I hate having to shout across the room, don't you?
Hate it.
Here we can talk nice and comfortably. Or whisper even, if we had anything to whisper.
I know something.
What?
How about a little kiss?
No.
Come on.
No. I'm very angry with you, Throckmorton.
What for?
Because you never once wrote to me all summer.
Gosh, I've been busy, Leila. You don't know how busy I've been. I've been terribly busy, really. I kept intending to write to you, but...
I know. You were busy.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't really matter in the slightest, Throckmorton, because if you had written to me, I should probably just have torn the letter up.
Why?
Too busy to read it.
Hi, George, you've got a great sense of humor, Leila. That's what I always say. As long as a girl's got a sense of humor, I don't care if she's... Well, that's the main thing, a sense of humor.
You don't care if she's what, Throckmorton?
Nothing. What kind of a summer did you have, Leila? How was Savannah? Did you have fun?
Well, yes and no. It was all terribly complicated. I'll tell you about it sometime.
What's the matter with right now?
Right now, I'd rather forget.
Oh?
That's what I came back up here for. to forget.
Forget who? What?
His name is Lightfoot Dupree.
Lightfoot?
Oh, Throckmorton, why don't things ever work out?
Why doesn't what work out? Who is this guy? What's this all about?
Well, it was just one of those things, I guess. He was engaged to my very best friend, the girl I was visiting all this time. So, naturally, there was nothing I could do about it.
Did you try?
Throckmorton, she was my very best friend. The worst of it was I found out he was in love with me, too. Terribly in love. That's why I cut my visit short.
Cut it short. You were down there 3 months. I thought you were coming back the 1st of August.
Well, anyway, that's why I've come back, to try to forget.
Well, you've come to the right place, Leila. You want to forget? I'll be glad to help you. Let's start right now.
As if I could ever forget Lightfoot Dupree.
Yes.
Oh, well, I guess it was just one of those things that could never be.
Sure, forget it. What do you want to feel sad for, Leila? I'm here. Why, I gave up an evening with the Jolly Boys just to be here with you tonight.
Oh, did you, Throckmorton? Aren't you sweet?
Sure, I could be playing poker right now.
Oh, Throckmorton, you're so understanding.
I can be a lot more understanding than this.
You knew I'd be needing you this evening. You will help me forget, won't you?
Will I?
Throckmorton, what was that?
Me?
Oh, no. No, I thought I heard a sound outside.
I didn't hear anything.
Sounded like prowlers on the porch.
Now, don't you worry, Leila. I'm here.
Oh, it's so wonderful to have a man around the house.
Leila, now how about it, huh? A little kiss.
Do you always have to ask?
Yeah.
Throckmorton, don't move.
Why not?
The window. Look, it's opening.
Leila, hold me tight. All right, fellas, that's very funny. Now get out of here. Go on, get off the property. Beat it. Listen, you fellas, do you want me to call the police?
Police? Who do you think is singing bass?
Leila, I apologize. I don't know what's gotten into them. I'll go out there and get rid of them.
Oh, don't send them away, please. That would be terrible.
After the way they behave?
Well, I think it's delightful to be serenaded like this on my first evening home. I think it's very flattering. Let me speak to them. Won't you gentlemen come in? What's she gay?
Oh, no offense, I hope, ma'am. Just a little joke on the commissioner.
Oh, gracious, I should say not. Come right in. And Mr. Peavy.
And the fellas got me into this, Mrs. Ransom. I was just on my way home.
Oh. I'm glad you came. Horace.
Welcome home, Leila.
Oh, Horace, I'm glad to see you.
It's good to see you, Leila. I would have met you at the airport if our fat friend here hadn't played me a dirty trick.
I resent that. I'm not fat.
Well, you got even with him, Judge.
Oh, Mrs. Ransom, you know Mr. Munson.
Oh, sure. Hiya, Mrs. Ransom. How's it going?
Close the door, Floyd. You were the last one in.
Yes, where were you brought up, in a barn?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, well, I just think it was wonderful of all you boys to come over like this. I'm so flattered. I was telling Throckmorton it reminds me of Mardi Gras when all the men go around serenading the girls. Now, if Mr. Peavy were just wearing a funny face...
What's the matter with the one he's got on? Only kidding, Peave.
Say, that's an idea. Why don't we serenade the lady as long as we're here?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, do sing. I'd love to hear you.
Well, we do pretty good on Home on the Range, huh, fellas? How about it, Commissioner? You take the lead.
No.
Oh, come on, Commissioner.
Oh, do sing, Throckmorton, please.
No.
Why not? I'll play the piano for you.
I don't want to.
All right, Floyd, you take the lead. What'll we sing?
Well, let's see.
There is a tavern in the town.
No.
Your tavern.
Well, what'll it be then?
Oh, the moonlight's fair tonight along the waterland. From the field there comes the...
No. That's terrible.
What's terrible about it?
Everything. I don't like the song. I don't like the way you sing it.
Well, you know so much. Let's hear you sing something.
And while we're about it, I don't like you fellas coming over here and busting in like this.
Can't you take a joke?
Oh, boys.
Yes.
Let's remember there's a lady present. Let's be jolly boys, shall we? After all, this is supposed to be a tribute to the fair sex.
That's right. It's a tribute to the fair sex.
Say, how about I dream of Jeannie with a light?
Oh, I love that one, Horace. That's one of my very favorites. Do sing it.
Yeah, Jeannie. I dream.
Just a minute, please. Just 1 minute. If you're going to sing, for heaven's sake, let somebody sing the song who can sing it.
Attaboy, Commish, attaboy. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll do this, Leila, and see if we can repair the damage. I dream of Leila.
Yeah.
With the light brown hair, born like a zephyr on the summer air. I see her tripping where the bright streets play, happy as the daisies that dance in her way. Many were the wild notes her merry voice would pour. Many were the blithe birds that warbled them o'er. I dream of Leila with a light brown hair, floating like a zephyr on the soft summer air.
I declare I love y'all.
The great Gildersleeve will be back again in just a moment. There's a well-known saying that names make news, and a few days ago, this change in a time-honored name made news in the food world. It was an announcement that the Kraft Cheese Company has changed its name to Kraft Foods Company. And here's the reason. Throughout 40 years, Kraft has built a reputation as maker of some of the world's finest cheese and cheese foods. But over the years, Kraft has created other top-quality food products. So the new company name is designed to include all these quality foods. And, of course, one of these important foods is parquet margarine, the delicious spread for bread that's a favorite of millions because of its superior quality and its fresh, delicate flavor. So in the future, look for the new name, Kraft Foods Company, on each package of delicious, economical parquet margarine.
That's you, Leila. Are a blend of the western skies, and the moonlight beams on the girl of my dreams. She's the sweetheart of 6 other guys. Good night, Leila. Good night, everybody.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Perry. It is written by John Wheaton and Sam Moore. The music is by Jack Meakin. This is John Lang speaking for the Kraft Foods Company and inviting you to listen in again next week for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Do the children in your family like cheese? Then you can just bet they like Pabst-ett. It's so rich in mellow cheddar cheese flavor, so easy to digest. Pabst-ett is a cheese food that contains the nourishing food values of milk. And it's simply delicious, spread on bread or on crackers, or melted into a luscious cheese sauce for macaroni. And now that ration points are no longer required, you'll want to buy both delicious varieties, Golden Pabst-ett and Pimento Pabst-ett. Ask for Pabst-ett, the delicious cheddar cheese food, when you shop tomorrow.
This is the National Broadcasting Company. The Kraft Foods Company presents The Great Gildersleeve.
Yeah.
It's The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Perry, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of Parquet margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products. These are busy days for Summerfield's Commissioner of Public Water, and they call for a little relaxation in the evening. On this particular evening, he has permitted himself the pleasure of a few hours' diversion at the movies in the company of his attractive friend and neighbor, Mrs. Ransom. And at this particular moment, we find him at her front door saying goodnight. You'll have to be a little patient. He's still saying goodnight to her.
Gracious, you do say goodnight to a girl.
Yeah.
I'd ask you in, Throckmorton, only it's pretty late.
Oh, that's all right. I don't have to get to the office till 10 tomorrow.
Oh. But I have to be downtown at the dentist at 9.
Oh.
And I have to get my beauty sleep, you know, else you might not like me anymore. So, I think I'd better say goodnight.
Well, I'll be seeing you then, Leila. Good night.
Oh, Throckmorton?
Yes?
Never mind.
What was it, Leila?
Well, I was just wondering how I'd get down there tomorrow morning. But as long as you're not going to the office till 10, I guess Horace Hooker wouldn't mind stopping for me.
Well, now, wait a minute. You don't have to do that. There must be some way to work this thing out.
But how? If you're not going to the office till 10.
I know.
What?
I'll go to the office at 9.
Oh, Throckmorton, you're so smart. I declare you think of everything. You're sure you don't mind now?
No.
I wouldn't be putting you out.
No.
Because I wouldn't want you changing your plans for me.
Glad to do it. I'll pick you up tomorrow at 9:15.
Oh, thank you, Throckmorton. And thank you for a perfectly gorgeous evening. I don't know when I've enjoyed Abbott and Costello so much.
By George, it certainly doesn't take much to make a girl happy. I guess it's all in knowing how. Wonder if there's any of that fried chicken left. I might just look in the icebox before Marjorie.
Hello.
What's this, my dear? Up so late? You have school tomorrow.
I know.
What are you doing there?
Writing.
Writing what?
A letter.
A letter to who, or shouldn't I ask?
Oh, why can't I ever do anything right?
Marjorie.
Nothing I ever do is right. Nothing. I'm just I wish I were dead.
No, my dear, you don't wish anything in the kind.
I do, too.
Why, that's ridiculous. Why, if you were dead, you wouldn't have any fun.
I don't have any fun anyway. That's why I wish I were dead.
Oh, Marjorie, honey, don't do that. Come here.
Let me alone.
You're not mad at me, are you?
No.
Then tell your old uncle what's the matter.
I don't know what's the matter. There must be something wrong with me. All the boys I know either join the Navy or go away to school.
Is that all, my dear? Why, you had me worried there for a minute. Now, listen. You just go up and get a good night's sleep and you'll feel better.
I can't.
That's nonsense. You run along to bed and tomorrow morning you'll feel better. I guarantee it.
Uncle Mort, you don't understand.
Now, don't tell me that. I know all about these things. Yes, indeed. Sleep, that's what you need. Or would you like something to eat first? A little snack before you go to bed, huh? Some of that nice fried chicken, huh? I know what would fix you up, a hamburger. I could make you a hamburger, if Bertie's got any hamburger. How about it, huh? A nice hamburger with a slice of onions and relish, maybe, and ketchup all over it. Mm-hmm. What do you say?
Uncle Mort, don't you ever think of anything but your stomach.
Marjorie, I was just trying to suggest something.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me, Uncle Mort. Pay no attention to me. I guess I'll go to bed.
Yes, you do that, my dear. You do that. You'll feel better in the morning. Poor kid. Well, I don't know what she's worrying about. I don't know whether to have the fried chicken or the hamburger. Leroy, when you finish monopolizing the sugar, you might let somebody else have some.
Oh, sorry, Unc. Just a sec.
4 is plenty. Do you want to get diabetes? Now, what time is it? Bertie, what time is it out there by the kitchen clock?
What time is it?
Yeah, my watch has stopped.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gildersleeve. The kitchen clock has stopped, too.
Oh, fine. I'm supposed to pick up Mrs. Ransom at 9:15. If anybody would wind any clocks around here.
I wound it, Mr. Gildersleeve. I wound it all the further it would go.
Well, maybe that's the trouble. When did the clock stop?
July.
Yeah, July. Bertie, you ought to tell me about these things. Not wait till somebody needs to know what time it is.
I told you, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Never heard about it. Never heard a word about it.
Mr. Gildersleeve, I told you about that clock once. I told you 20 times.
That's right, Unc. I heard her.
You eat your oatmeal.
Miss Marjorie, seems like you ain't eaten anything this morning, hardly.
I guess I'm not very hungry, Bertie.
You're awfully quiet, my dear. Anything wrong?
No. I just don't feel very well, that's all.
Oh, that's too bad.
Maybe we'd better call Dr. Pettibone.
Oh, it's not anything to call the doctor about. I think if I just stay home today and don't go to school.
Well, perhaps that's a good idea.
Ha!
Leroy, why can't you ever be decent for once?
Why should I? Nobody ever lets me get away with anything. Gosh, I could be dying practically.
Leroy.
Leroy, something tells me it's about time you started for school.
Yeah, me too. Is my lunch ready, Bertie?
Right on the hall table there.
Bye, Unc.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Marge.
Goodbye, Leroy. You mustn't feel badly, my dear. I don't think Leroy meant to hurt you.
I don't mind about Leroy. He's probably right anyway.
Why, Marjorie?
Sure, he's right. I just don't want to go to school, that's all. I don't ever want to go to school. Because all I am is clumsy and unattractive, and nobody will ever have anything to do with me.
Marjorie. Now, that's not true, my dear. Why, you're one of the most attractive girls I've ever seen. And graceful, too.
No, I'm not. I'm a clumsy ox. The gym teacher said so.
Listen, anybody who says you're clumsy has got me to fight. When did the teacher say this?
Yesterday, in ballet class, right in front of everybody.
By George, I'd like a word with that teacher.
What's the use of fooling myself? She's right. All the boys I know either leave town or join the Navy. I told you there was something wrong with me.
Oh, brother, we're back to that again. Now, listen, my dear, this is all a lot of nonsense. Why, you're as graceful a girl as I ever knew. I was saying to myself only the other day, I said, Marjorie certainly is graceful.
I got it.
Uh-oh, Mrs. Ransom, here quickly, Marjorie. Got a hanky?
All right.
Good morning, Miss Ransom.
Hello, Bertie. Is Mr. Gildersleeve there?
Be right with you, Leila. Come on in.
Yes, come right in.
Oh, thank you. I'm afraid I'm a little early, so I just ran over to save you the trouble.
Why, Marjorie, honey.
Hello.
It's all right, Leila. It's nothing at all. I was just telling Marjorie I think she's unusually graceful for a girl her age. Don't you think, Leila? Don't you think she's graceful?
Oh, yes. Indeed, I do. Yes, indeed. But...
Well, some fool teacher just made a remark. Woman's got no business teaching ballet or anything else. Yes, probably doesn't know a thing about it. She's probably got knock knees herself. Huh, Marjorie?
Well, if you ask me, she's probably an old maid.
That's right.
Now, you just have to expect that, Marjorie. If there's one thing an old maid can't bear, it's the sight of a young girl who's prettier and more graceful and more attractive than she is. I've had that trouble all my life with old maids.
There, you hear that, my dear?
This teacher just happens to be married.
Oh, the married ones are worse, believe me.
As a matter of fact, I think Marjorie could be a marvelous ballet dancer if she put her mind to it, don't you, Leila?
Oh, I do. I truly do. Some of them are quite tall, you know.
I don't care anything about ballet. I only took it to get out of gym. I just don't want people thinking that
Oh, but you should, Marjorie. Well, I don't know anything more wonderful than being a ballerina. They lead such glamorous lives, don't they, Throckmorton?
Huh? Oh, yes, that's right.
Why, just think of having the whole world at your feet.
Not bad, eh?
Oh, think what fun it would be, Marjorie. Flowers at every performance and people kissing your hand and suitors, loads of them, always hanging around your dressing room.
I'd send them away. All I do is study and work till I was really good.
Of course. But when you finally arrived, think of it. Diamond necklaces and college boys pulling your carriage through the streets. And gentlemen drinking champagne from your slipper. And husbands. Why, some of these girls have as many as 4 and 5 of them, all rich.
Oh, Uncle Mort, do you really think I could?
Have 5 husbands?
No, be a dancer. A really good one, I mean.
My dear, it's my firm conviction that anybody can do anything he wants if he'll just put his mind to it. Anything at all.
Is that how you got to be a water commissioner?
No, that's an example of what can happen if you don't put your mind to it.
Oh, well, just the same, your uncle's right, Marjorie. You could show that old gym teacher if you really wanted to. Think it over.
That's right. You think it over, my dear. Come along, Leila. You'll be late to the dentist.
Oh, gracious, what time is it?
Uncle Mort, wait.
What is it, my dear?
Could you drop me at school on the way?
Certainly. Only too happy to do so. Feeling better, eh? Tell me I don't know how to handle girls. Why, I ought to be running a school. Well, how did school go today, my dear?
School? Oh, school was all right. I talked to Francie today, Uncle Mort, and guess what? She's going to be a dancer, too.
Well, that's quite a coincidence.
We decided we don't care what the old gym teacher says. We decided she doesn't know anything anyway. We're going to practice every afternoon, Francie and I, till we're really good.
Well, that's fine.
Hi, Unc. You through with the funnies?
I guess so, Leroy.
Just throw it. Thanks.
Pick it up when you get through reading it.
I always do.
How can you say that?
Do you have to read it on the floor, Leroy?
Where else?
Well, it just happens that I'd like to show Uncle Mort something.
Go ahead, my dear.
But I have to have room. It's what Francie and I were practicing this afternoon.
Pick up the paper, Leroy.
Oh, for corn's sake. Can't even read in peace around here.
Now, Marjorie, what were you going to show me?
Well, these are the positions you have to learn for ballet. You really ought to have music for this. But anyway, this is the first position.
Well, very graceful. No, Leroy.
And this is what they call the second position.
Well, like a regular ballet dancer.
You call that dancing?
Perhaps you could do better?
Sure. Chase me. I'm a butterfly.
Leroy.
I'm the south wind. Woo-hoo.
Make him stop.
Kiss me. I'm a piece of thistledown.
Leroy, watch that lamp.
I was watching it.
Yeah. Very funny, Thistledown. But you want to know something? A little instruction in dancing wouldn't hurt you one bit.
What?
I mean it. I've a good mind to have you take dancing lessons.
Oh, no, Unc. What do I want with dancing lessons?
It might teach you a little grace, wouldn't it, Marjorie?
I doubt it.
Well, it might at least teach you to walk through a room without falling over those feet. Besides, every boy ought to learn to dance. It's an important social accomplishment.
But when would I take lessons? I haven't any time. I have to practice my piano every afternoon. You don't want me to neglect that, do you? My piano?
I haven't heard you practice in days.
Well, I've been intending to. I've been intending to right along. I didn't want to get stale, that's all. I'm going to start again tomorrow.
I know, Uncle Mort. Leroy could play the piano for me to practice to.
Great idea.
Hey, nothing doing.
Leroy, you'll play the piano for your sister.
Oh,
You love the piano so much, let me see you sit down there and play.
No.
Now.
Gosh.
Ready, Marjorie? 1, 2, 3. Very pretty, my dear. And very nice, Leroy. I ask you, was there ever so much talent in one family? By George, I've got a good mind to retire.
The Great Gildersleeve will be back in just a moment. You know, I've always been a bit curious about what makes people buy one kind of food in preference to another. So I asked my wife the other day why she preferred parquet margarine.
Well, as I recall it, John, some of us were talking about spreads for bread. Well, one of the girls mentioned what a wonderful flavor parquet margarine had.
So you went right out and bought some, eh?
Well, no. It was a few days later that I noticed parquet in the store. And I saw it was a real money saver. Only about half the price of costly spreads.
Well, that's why you bought parquet.
Well, partly. Then I saw the name Kraft on the package. And when I put it on the table, you and the children kept calling for more.
Yes, sir. Day in and day out, it's the best spread I ever tasted. And parquet margarine is a favorite with millions of families because parquet's flavor is still unmatched. And just to remind you, don't forget that the Kraft Cheese Company is now the Kraft Foods Company. So when you buy delicious, economical parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y, parquet margarine, remember it's a quality product of the Kraft Foods Company. Now let's get back to the Great Gildersleeve, whom we find relaxing in his parlor before supper with the evening paper. At least he's trying to relax with his niece, Marjorie, diligently trying to master the ballet with the aid of a portable phonograph.
Unky, watch me, Unky.
Huh?
I did it perfect that time. Didn't you see it?
I'm sorry, my dear. One of the headlines caught my eye.
I'll see if I can do it the same way again.
Great.
Now be sure and watch this time.
I will.
Are you watching?
Oh, yes, I'm watching.
Don't you think I'm doing it better?
Yes, much better. That's fine. Don't you think you ought to rest a little while, my dear?
Oh, gosh, I'm not tired. I've been sitting down all day. This relaxes me.
Just don't overdo it, Marjorie.
Don't worry, Unky.
Hi, everybody.
Well, hello, Leroy.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Hi, Unc. Hi, Marge. Hey, look what I traded from Piggy. A real Army rifle.
What?
Look what it says there. U.S. Army.
Oh, it's nothing but a wooden gun.
Okay, it's wood, but it's official. They use them for training.
Oh?
Yep, U.S. Army. Some gun, hey, Unc?
You, don't point that thing at me, Leroy. By George, it's pretty good, all right. What did you have to trade Piggy for it?
Oh, I got it cheap because his cousin sent him too.
What did you give Piggy?
Just the front tire off my bike. It was shot anyway.
Leroy, but you can't ride it without a front tire. It'll cost you $3 for a new one. Where are you going to get $3?
I'll save up my allowance. Don't worry about it, Unc.
Your allowance. Let me see the gun.
Okay. See, it's got everything. Trigger, barrel, all the stuff.
They don't work, do they?
No, but they look good. Feels good against your shoulder, doesn't it?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I'll get a bead on that light bulb. Squeeze that trigger easy. Bang!
Oh, for heaven's sake, you're worse than Leroy.
Yeah. My dear. If you children will excuse me, I think I'll go into my study till supper time.
Okay, Uncle. Look, Leroy, don't you think I'm doing better?
Better? Oh, yes. Oh,
Stuffy in here. A little quieter, though. Well, the Tigers finally made it. Wish I could go to Chicago and see the World Series.
Uncle Mort, will you make Leroy go upstairs, please?
Oh, why don't you go upstairs upstairs yourself.
Now, what is this? Can I leave you children alone a minute without a row?
Well, I can't practice my dancing with Leroy in the room.
What did I do? I never opened my mouth.
He was looking at me. Then he started pointing that gun at me.
Oh, my dear, you've had quite a little time in the parlor. You can't have it to yourself exclusively.
But if you want me to practice my dancing...
Why don't you take the phonograph upstairs for a little while, huh? Then there won't be anybody to disturb you.
But my room is so small.
You may take it in my room. I have no objection.
Okay, I'll go up there for a while.
You want Leroy to help you with the machine?
No, he'd probably drop it.
Let me see your gun again, will you, Leroy?
Sure, play with it all you want.
You know, it feels just right. You must have some weight inside of it someplace.
I guess so.
I wonder if I can remember the manual of arms. Let me see. You start with it down here, huh? That's order arms. And that old tarp sergeant will holler, right shoulder, hop. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's pretty good, huh? Can you do any more?
Sure. When he wants you to put it down again, he says, order, hop. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, neat. Show me how to do it, will you, Unc?
Sure. Now, you see, it's all a matter of rhythm. 1.
What's the matter, Unc?
I've lost my rhythm. Leroy, will you tell your sister I've gone out for a little walk?
Oh, you can't take it, huh?
Nothing of the kind, my boy. I simply feel the need of a little fresh air.
There you are, Judge. That'll be the same as usual. $1.80. And 4 cents for the governor.
You may charge it, Peavy.
Yes, sir. Judge, Hooker's liver powder, $1.84.
You've made a pretty good thing out of my liver, Peavy.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
$1.80 a month for 10 years? Of course, it used to be $1.50.
Well, the cost of liver is going up.
Very funny. I don't suppose there's any chance this stuff will effect a permanent cure of my condition.
Well, I wouldn't want to say. Oh, here's Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, good evening, gentlemen. Picking up something for your liver, Horace?
I came in to purchase some cigars, Gildersleeve.
Yeah. I don't have to lie about why I'm here, Horace. I don't want to buy a thing, Peavy. Just came out for a little walk, that's all.
Very athletic, isn't he, Peavy?
Yes, I am. So is my whole family. My nephew Leroy is at home right now practicing the manual of arms. My niece, Marjorie, is practicing ballet dancing.
Wasting their time. Leroy will never have to go to war, and Marjorie will never be a dancer.
Oh, you think not? Marjorie's very graceful, shows real aptitude. She may decide to make a career of the ballet.
You don't say.
Yes.
Well, I understand the good ones have to study it for about 25 years. Is that right?
Well,
That's right, Peavy. By the time Marjorie's equipped to dazzle an audience, she'll be 43 years of age.
I don't believe it. With old-fashioned methods, maybe so. But these days, she could be a top ballerina in 5 or 6 years.
Has Marjorie got her heart set on this, Mr. Gildersleeve, or is it your idea?
Well, both, Peavy. She seems to have a real talent for it, and I certainly don't intend to stand in her way. Why?
Oh, nothing.
No, Peavy. I value your opinions. What's on your mind?
Well, I just wondered, is that the kind of life you'd choose for a nice young girl?
What's the matter with it? Dancing is fine exercise. Keeps her in tip-top physical condition.
Yeah, but what about her moral condition? Mr. Gildersleeve, what about those fellas hanging around the stage door with bouquets and so on? I'm speaking only from hearsay, of course.
Yeah. That's why you don't know anything about it.
Well, I know something about it. And if you let Marjorie go on with this nonsense, pretty soon she'll be wanting to live in some place like Chicago or New York. She'll be getting a divorce every other day.
You don't really believe that, do you, Judge?
I certainly do.
Do you, Peavy?
That's the way of the world, Mr. Gildersleeve.
You're just a couple of old women. You're worrying about my niece being led astray by millionaires when she can't even do a two-step.
Well, I thought you said she was already quite a dancer.
Well, I may have exaggerated a little bit. The girl has talent. She's interested, but good heavens, she's only 16. This may be just a passing fancy.
Seems to me you're a little excited, Gildy.
I'm as cool as a cucumber, you old goat. I'll leave you two to worry about Marjorie. I'm going home to admire her dancing.
Goodbye, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Goodbye, Gildy.
Goodbye, Judge. Don't forget to take your medicine. I wonder if there's anything in what those old ninnies said back there.
Uncle Mort, is that you?
Yes, my dear, it's me.
Uncle, you've got to do something for me.
What's that?
The phonograph. It's terrible. It sounds so tinny. Couldn't we do something about it? Couldn't we get a new one?
Well, now, let's not put any money into this.
But I need it to practice with.
But, my dear, this whole thing might turn out to be just a passing fancy.
Oh, no. I'm serious about this, Uncle Mort.
But it might take 20 years.
Not me. The teacher told me today I'm already showing improvement.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're improving, Marjorie, but let's not overdo, shall we?
But I'm so encouraged. I'm determined to succeed now. I'm going to practice every minute that I can.
Marjorie, for heaven's sake, industry is all very well, but I think it'd be nice if you'd relax for a few minutes before supper.
I will in 5 minutes, Unky. I just want to practice my leap a few more times.
Your what?
My leap. It's beautiful. Wait till you see it.
Leap.
Hi, Unc. You want to show me the manual of arms now?
No, confound it. Haven't you got anything to do with play with guns?
Gosh, I didn't do anything. Holy cow, you don't have to jump on me.
You're right, my boy. I shouldn't take it out on you. How long can this go on?
Why don't you tell her to quit?
Well, she's a girl, Leroy. Girls have to be humored.
Yeah, I suppose. Do you really think she'll ever be any good?
Do you?
I doubt it. You think a plaster will fall down?
I suppose so.
Dames, they're too much for me.
Have a cigar, Leroy.
We'll hear more from the great Gildersleeve in just a few moments. Does your family like French bread, the kind that comes in long, slender loaves with a crisp, crunchy crust? In our house, we stack the bread plate whenever French bread is served. And my, how quickly it disappears, especially when there's delicious, satisfying Parquet margarine to spread on it. Yes, sir. You see, Kraft takes special care in making Parquet margarine. Selected wholesome products of American farms are skillfully blended in Parquet, and then it's rushed flavor fresh to your food dealer. That's why millions prefer Parquet margarine to any other brand. That's why Parquet's flavor is still unmatched. Try it soon for a real flavor treat. Tomorrow, buy delicious, economical Parquet, Parkay, Parquet margarine, made by the Kraft Foods Company.
I didn't really give him the cigar. I smoked it myself. Good night, folks.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Perry. It is written by John Whedon and Sam Moore. The music is by Jack Meekum. This is John Lang speaking for the Kraft Foods Company and inviting you to listen in again next week for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Ladies, here's how to make leftovers not seem like leftovers at all. It's easy with Pabstet, the delicious cheddar cheese food. First, make a luscious golden cheese sauce with Pabstet and a little milk. Then pour this appetizing Pabstet cheese sauce on leftovers of meat, fish, vegetables, or rice, and you've a brand new delicious main dish treat. Remember, Pabstet comes in 2 tempting varieties, golden Pabstet and pimento Pabstet. It's ration-free, so buy delicious, nourishing Pabstet cheese food when you shop tomorrow.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.